What would I do if I was getting ready for a marketing event or a networking event in general? I would study up, get an understanding of, first of all, the city that you're in, kind of the issues that are part of your environment so that you can have interesting, easy conversations. Get your questions together, get your pitch together. So, we all do a bunch of different things. We all kind of ideally have a bunch of different interests, lots of things that we've been through in life. But we want to make sure that the first 30 seconds of when we introduce ourselves to someone, first and foremost, that they remember who we are. So that's going to come down to your charm. It's going to come down to your ability to communicate and your ability to make a impression to begin with. Then the difficulty that most people have, I believe, is getting to a point where you can nail down why you're there. So for the event that I'm going to, I am very, very excited to be able to meet people that are in the industry that I'm in, which is dentistry. I'm also interested in meeting someone or anyone that can benefit partners that I have. I'm also interested in anyone that has sums of money and a big heart to help the nonprofit that I'm trying to run. And most of the thing that I'd like to get out of the event is someone that has more experience than me in scaling companies and in terms of hiring people and just strategic overview. If I can get a philosophy or two out of this event, which I am basically guaranteed to, because of the questions that I ask, I'll be in good shape. Now, what questions do I ask? Most of the time, my questions can be abrasive. The way that I talk can be abrasive, but they're usually only abrasive to people that haven't been through much. And I say this with, as much humility as I can muster because I probably haven't been through much compared to perhaps you. And the reality is that we need to really convince ourselves that our time is worth something, that we as individuals are worth something. And that means that if we come across someone that is a blabbermouth and doesn't really know how to steer a conversation to something productive, then we need to move on. On the other hand, if we come across someone that's genuinely useful to us, then we need to dig in. We need to understand what their motivations are, what their character is, what they've participated in the past, and their level of commitment to new things coming up. Something that I learned along the way as I discover the philosophies of entrepreneurship is really the successful people in life, the people that really get things done, move quite quickly. And that means that the instant that a decision is made or an opportunity arises, they jump on it. They make sure to get the contact, get the specifics, get the details, and really move on it within 24 hours, hopefully within the next 10 minutes. Because they also know that they got a lot of shit going on, so they're too busy really to not take advantage of a situation that might be beneficial to them. So I say this to you because really all of the time we should be networking. We should be spending a very large majority of our free hours expanding our network until the opportunities are so many that we really have to pick and choose. And this is something that I get directly from Alex Hormozi, but also from my observations of people that have gotten to a point in their life where they've gotten the things that they want. If we don't get to the point where we have too many opportunities, then we'll probably have too few opportunities, and that means that our perspective is going to be limited. Now, there's a lot to be said for someone that is willing to sit down and specialize in life, to actually put in the years, the minutes of effort that are required to make an initiative what it truly is capable of being. But those people also realize that in order to build their thing efficiently, in order to build the pillars to make their thing last, that they need to get out there and find talent that's really good. So on top of all the things that I said earlier, another thing that I'm looking for is ideally someone that has more experience than me that might be willing to work with me in terms of things that I might not have an expertise in. And directly in my company, perhaps someone that is not happy about where they're at in their life. So the intentionality with which we go to these things is going to affect whether or not our investment of time or money is actually worth it to us. And the way that I always phrase this to people that I'm first teaching about finance is that every $10 in your life is a brick in your palace, is a brick in your castle. So how big do you want your castle to be? That's going to determine your spending habits, really. So if I'm spending anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 for an event, right? That's a whole lot of bricks in my palace. So I better make sure that event, I go and pick up a bunch of contacts, a bunch of opportunities that are going to eventually net in more bricks. And the reason that's so important to kind of keep pushing in life, is because if we're not growing, we're probably going to fall. We're probably going to decline. And networking is a phenomenal way to get more information into our life, more novel philosophies, more ideas, and also really, in a very human sense, we get a better understanding of what the whole gamut of the human condition is. We might find someone that might be our best friend or our partner for life. And without having that encouragement, without having that excitement for the event, for the opportunity to meet new people, we're not going to take advantage. We're not going to manifest that into the environment. So that's kind of the things that I think about when I go to an event. And I also want to make sure that you understand the type of event you're going to should augment the type of pitch you have. So meaning that if you're going to an event for particularly dental related stuff, or your industry, or lawyer related stuff, or whatever industry that you're in, or plumbing, or if you're going to an event for electrician work, or anything, right? You have to realize that you can't go in there and start talking about your interest in creating music, or your interest in swimming. You know, there's a time and a place to open up, and most of the time that's not in the first 30 minutes of interacting with someone. Most of the time we want to be very specific to make sure that first and foremost we're getting the information as quickly as possible, and secondly we're realizing that you should really try to talk to every single person at the event if you can, and that's obviously dependent on the amount of time that's available, but ideally shake a hand, get a contact. I mean, the most successful people that I follow that are in my life, even, it's all about contacts. Contacts equal contracts. And I had a conversation with a really close friend of mine recently, actually earlier today, about the concept of us needing to work incredibly hard in order to secure a future for ourselves. And the reason that I make these videos, the reason that I actually care about spending the time to put this stuff online, is because I think so many smart people, so many people that have the biggest hearts, merely don't have the information to use their talents, to use their ability to actually go and manifest the life that they want, and ideally help a lot of people in the process. I mean, just think about it. If you became 10 times better than you are today, chances are anyone that's around you is going to be 10 times more influenced, 10 times better, 10 times more supported, right? There's the really simple way of looking at getting more people in your network is that when you have a problem, you have more people to call. And the people that are suffering the most in life are often the ones that don't even have one person to call. So if you have a network of people that are loving, caring, charismatic, whatever personality traits you value, whatever your value statement is, then chances are you can help all of the other people around you that might not have those contacts themselves. So function as a conduit, a social conduit, and you will become necessarily more valuable to everyone else around you. And that really just requires being incredibly intentional about when you go to these events that you pay for. And if you're not going to events that you're paying for and you have money sitting in the bank account, I couldn't encourage it more. Get out there. Spend the money. it's not doing anything in your bank account. It's just depreciating. And the reality is, if you're so fearful that the money itself is going to disappear, that means that you don't have value in yourself, and that perhaps you have too many responsibilities. That's fair. You should have savings if you have a lot of responsibilities. But if you don't have any responsibilities, or have few responsibilities, and you're in your 20s or even early 30s, just spend the damn money. Just go out and experience things. It's going to make this better, and it's going to make your ability to accrue that money better. Actualize your potential catalyst. If you made it to this point in the video, smash that like button, share it with someone that might need it, and again, remember, this world needs you. Take care of yourself. Peace.